Farm, a local farm here in Saanich with Dan Ponche, and we're going to talk about everything that you can about food. And we're going to start off with organic versus non-organic and anything else that can do with sustainability and greenness of growing food. Hi, Dan.
Hi.
How long have you guys been around here now in Saanich?
Well, here at this location, it'll be almost 30 years for me. But at my dad's location at Lucato, he's been there for over 50 years.
What are some of the foods that we could buy now?
Well, we're starting to pick quite a bit of broccoli already. And to grow earlier crops, I covered them with that floating row cover, that white fabric you see in fields from a distance. It's a remade cloth that lets water through it, but it keeps a lot of heat in there. So it makes it, that's how we can get some earlier crops. So I got broccoli that way earlier than normal, and I got beans as well. They're already started, so.
And you are open in the winter season as well?
Yes, yeah, we're freezing things like, we'll freeze things like strawberries and raspberries and blueberries.
Not all your food is organic. What is the difference between growing organic versus the non-organic?
Well, if it's to be true organic, it means that there is no chemical fertilizers, even no sprays there are some that are organic. There are some organic sprays that can be applied. But I've gone the route with our vegetables to just, I don't grow a huge amount. I grow enough for our market here. So I just, we don't use weed killers, and we don't spray them for anything else. So we may have to use some fertilizers, but mostly I use chicken manure on that. So it is, sort of organic. It's different in Canada, the regulations, than they are in the United States.
Right.
They're not exactly the same. So what is allowed here in Canada might be more stringent rules than there is in the US. Certified organic is quite the process, of course.
Right.
And there are farms around here that certainly have done it. And since I can do that way, and then apples, I cannot grow completely organic because there's too many fungus diseases and that. So, but of course, that's if we do have to treat the trees, it's mostly done in the early springtime. It's not done for months before the fruit is harvested. So.
Okay, but just to be totally clear, you're not using like the GMOs and the GEs that we're hearing, anything like that. No. So even though when you say you use some fertilizer, it's still
that's applying to seeds.
Yes.
But still. That's some scary stuff. These are large farms that need to, everything has to be accounted for. It has to be so much production and this and that. We are just a smaller farm, and we eat what we grow. Yes. We want to be as careful as we can with everything, and we know that people care about that. So we are more and more careful about everything that we do to our crops.
And I had a look around the grocery store part of your market as well, and everything says organic on it. Like everything that you sell is that how you buy your non-produce? Has to have the certified organic on it?
Some of it is certified organic, and some are just from ourselves, our vegetables, and that have no sprays on them. And we are getting a few things from other growers that are also very small growers that are not treating them at all. Everybody's reading labels, and everybody's a lot more conscious of what goes into their bodies. Way more, but even more so, I find, in where we live down here. If you go to other parts of the country, I don't think it's anything like it. We're way more health conscious, I think.
I think so too.
In this part of the world.
Now, I just thought I would just leave on this because I'm curious. Is there any regulations that you have to follow, like whether federal or provincial, to grow your food here? There
is, but it's not a case of that. There's a lot of people checking on what's going on. They come and they take some samples of some produce to see if there's any residues in the crop.
Thank you so much, Dan, for giving us so much information and educating us on where our food actually comes from.
At the Red Bar Market, we try and purchase as much locally as possible. With fresh produce on the island, it is tough to source produce year-round. So there's certain times of the year where we will have a lot more local than we will, say, in December, January. So yeah, this time of the year is a perfect time where we have lots of the local farms and we're trying to support them as much as possible, where we get strawberries, rhubarb, lettuce, just some amazing products. And what we try and do is we highlight that at our stores where we have a local board that we're making it very easy for our consumers to have the choice to support the local Vancouver Island economy from a farm point of view. So Van Trite Farms, a very well-known farm, obviously since 1884, and they source and grow a lot of produce that we obviously like to support. Sometimes it is a little more expensive to purchase local, but they need to make a living, obviously, to farm the land. It gets smaller and smaller as a farm base, so we need to support them. There's probably 30 different farms that we'll support at any given time of the year from a produce point of view. We do source some of our meats locally. We support Metchosin pork, so our pork comes from Metchosin. Our chicken comes from Duncan, from Island Farmhouse Poultry. There's only a few grocery stores now. They're all owned nationally. So the local island-grown, island-raised, my partners were all from Victoria, born and raised. So we're true to the local business, and we like to support the local farms and, like I say, the people that are helping growing this, and it gives another choice, another option.
And keeping the money here.
Keeping the money here. That's right. Creating some employment. We want to be very honest with what we're trying to say, and our values line up with the philosophy of the Red Bar Market. So again, we want to source where possible first, island grown, island raised. Sometimes though we do have to source off the island. The one thing that we do showcase, in our case, anything that we do within our stores, and again that's island grown or raised, will be done with a black tag. So any consumers that comes in to the store versus meat that is a AAA product, which would just be straight commodity beef that could be from Alberta or wherever else, not necessarily from the island. So with a lot of our products, you'll see that it's either made at our smokehouse, which is at Van Elman, on Glanford and Van Elman in Victoria, where we have 2 large smokers that smoke our turkey, meat, a lot of different products, our cheese, pepperonis, a lot of the products in our deli case. So this is a smoked eating. We have 5 different varieties, from an aged cheddar right the way through a jalapeno Havarti, and we put it into a cheese sock in our smokehouse. Goes through the smoker for about 4 to 6 hours, and it comes out with this funny shaped sort of cheese ball. And it's an amazing product that again, it's done, finished here locally, and it's one of our signature products, but yeah, for sure.
It's really good.
So yeah, it is. It's great cheese. And again, it's one of about 100 products that we'll produce at that Van Elman location, and a lot of our meat, and well, obviously cheese, but a lot of our meat would be gluten-free. So there's no gluten in our products, and that goes for all the items in our smokehouse.
I know it makes me feel more comfortable buying things that are local and that are aligning with their values, and I really see that with you folks here.
Yeah,
so.
and we're trying to get it from the farm to the plate. So where we can, from that island raised to the island grown.
From the farm to the plate.
You
Love
betcha.
it.
And then we can tell the story of who the local farmer is, if it's Van Trites or if it's Metchosin pork, whoever that supplier may be. We can tell the story behind that, and with confidence let our consumers know what they're purchasing.
Yes, I like that. And as I'm walking around here, I had no idea that you guys do coffee. What don't you guys do?
There's a fair amount of private label products that we are starting to venture into. Obviously we have a coffee, our spices, products that are produced in our smokehouse. So it's growing. There has been a shift from the traditional grocery store back to sort of the farm market. It's smaller, it's a little more intimate, it's a different setting. We have a lot of customers that come in and they'll have a coffee. We make amazing tall as a barn sandwiches. So people come in and they have an experience, they have a coffee, they have lunch. It's a gathering place. We have a lot of gluten-free products. Again, we try and source where we can from Victoria or from the island. So you're not going to find Fruit Loops, and you probably won't find conventional grocery store items here. Being small, we're very flexible, and we can bring in products quite easily at a small level. Our carbon footprint is small because we're bringing in product from markets that are 5 kilometers away, not 5 hours away or 5 days away. So there's more nutrients as the product is very fresh, right out of the ground and in our stores. So for us, we do have conventional produce, we have organic produce, and we have local. So we have a wide variety of options.
I don't find your price is that much more, because I mean, cost is important, especially for families and stuff. I don't find it that much more than going to a grocery store. I actually kind of find it on par.
Well, if we check our prices, generally speaking, we are cheaper than most markets in Greater Victoria.
Yes.
From a conventional grocery store, we really make sure that our prices are low, and we've got to, that's how people view us, as that farm market. You may not get the picture-ready apple, but you'll get a great apple, and the price reflects that. So we really want to be competitive in our marketplace, and I think we've done a really good job as a company managing that fine line where there's great quality and there's value with that quality. And we're going to continue to do that as our philosophy.
We started off with the farm, went to the farmer's market, and now we're with Dallas Bowl, who is a family-owned bistro, winery, and bakery.
We have 4 acres of grain that we grow here, or wheat that we grow and mill on site for our pizza dough and our breads and pies. We have 400 blueberry plants that pies and sauces and all sorts, and drinks. We got 2 acres of grapes that we make our wine with, and wine coolers. And we have some sheep and chickens and pheasants.
On the peninsula, there is a lot of local food here, which is nice.
Well, I don't know if you heard, I don't know what the exact stats are, but 1900s we grew 85% of what we consumed here, and now the last I heard it was around 5 or 6%.
Because you were the breadbasket in the 1900s.
Well, that's right.
So the best part is to make food. So here we are, keeping with our local, our organic, farm fresh, 100-mile diet. So we're going to make a pizza.
Fantastic. Well, Rick here, he's got the pizza. This is, we mill the grain, and then we have the bakers make the dough at night. We let it proof. And then Rick rolls it out and makes a pizza. We're definitely striving for the 1-mile diet as much as possible. We got pizza from our flour. We've got all sorts of vegetables. We got a new garden going up tops there, from potatoes, herbs. Actually, all the herbs, the basil's all grown. Actually, Rick pulls it right off the plant over there and puts it on the top.
Now, wood-fired oven. Why a wood-fired oven?
The best pizza's coming from, it's done out of a wood-fired pizza oven in Italy. We have live music Thursday, Friday, and Saturday when weather permits. Today they might be wearing an umbrella. Father's Day we had all the cars out here, and people could go out and see it and see the farm. The giant pumpkins, 1,000 pounds. We usually carve. It's a lot of the fun things. If you actually thought about how much work it is, then it wouldn't be as much fun.
You're still part of it, your children are part of
Absolutely.
it. So
my daughter comes, and every time she's here, she goes and picks the eggs. She's 4.5, and that's her job. She knows where to get them, open the door, wash them, put them in the cartons, and it's all a lot of fun.
Of course it's good. Very good. We are in the bakery here. It's a busy little hot spot here. It does not matter what time of day, if you come in the morning or the afternoon, it is always busy here. So we were out in the fields, we saw where the grain came from, we saw how it was milled, and now the finished product.
Yeah, well, we've got some loaves of bread, we've got some pies and all sorts of treats.
We are in the bar part of the bistro because we're going to end on the good part, the wine.
It's all good part.
It's all good part. I can't say that, yeah, because the food's all good. It's all good here, organically speaking, yes. So, and this is organic wine. Can I use the word organic?
It's not certified, but it's all organic practices.
Tell us about what the wines, the kind of wines that you have here.
Sure. Well, this one here is what we predominantly do is the Highland House Wine winery is the farm winery is what we operate under the Roos banner, and it's a Siga Red. As I was mentioning, it's a Victory vine, and this is our 2011. We'll be bottling our 2012 in the fall. And with this type, we also have a sparkling